Hey, what's up, fam? It's Pat Bentley, founder here at TechPeer, and I'm going to talk to you today. Quick video about how we actually automate our lead generation process, right? So, like many of you, I am a small business CEO or operator, right? And I also work a full-time job, which means that I need to wear a lot of different hats. I don't have a lot of time, so I need to automate a lot of my processes, right? So, what we're going to do today is talk a little bit about some of the tools that we use to help streamline our process, right? And automate those things that we do all the time. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. All right. So we're here at TechPeer's website. And one of the most important things that I'll start with is that every site should have some overall goal, right? Something that helps your business, right? And so for us, like many small businesses, that probably means that you need to be generating leads, right? Your site needs to help you set up meetings with people who are interested in your services, right? And that's true of us too. And the way that we handle our working with people who want to set up meetings is we actually take an intake form, right? And this allows for us to, number one, qualify our clients, let them know a little bit more about our services, but also in the back end, this helps us to schedule anything without needing to do anything manual, right? And the way that we do that is by using a combination of Google Forms, a service called Zapier, some people pronounce it that way, and Slack, right? And also Calendly. So let's jump in and let's walk through our lead generation process and what we're using to do that, right? So when a user comes to our site, a prospect, and they want to actually schedule some time with us, we've got call to actions all over our page. Another tip, I won't spend too much time on that, but I'll make a video about that and talk about call to action as well. But boom, they click on a button, they're thinking about using our services, right? So when they click on that button, we don't just have a generic contact form on our site. What we actually do is we send them to a Google form, right? And that Google form is beneficial for us for two reasons. Number one, it's free, right? So we actually use Workspace for Google. So we pay like $10 a month for a user, but this is a tool that you can use for absolutely free. If you have a Gmail account or if you set one up, then you can go in and use Google Forms, right? So number one, it's free. Number two, every response that you get on this form also will send those responses into a Google Sheet. If you've never used that, it's basically Google's version of an Excel spreadsheet. And in another video, I'll talk a little bit about how we use that as our CRM, right? Our client relationship management system. But anyway, right? So we get a response. And then what happens automatically is that we use this tool called Zapier, right? And what Zapier does is essentially it allows us to create automations, right? You can create your own workflows using different apps. So go to Zapier.com if you want to know more about that. And a lot of that is actually free, right? So when we get a response to our Google form, that will automatically send us a notification inside of Slack, right? So Slack is what we use. This is our messaging system that we use inside of just internally for us to message each other and share files, right? So we have a leads channel right here, right? And this leads channel allows for us to automatically get a response, right? So anytime that someone fills out that form, boom, it comes to our leads channel inside of Slack, and we automatically know that somebody's filled out that form, right? Now, the next step in that process is that we need to get this person scheduled, right? We want to talk to them about our services and our process and everything else, right? And so we use Zapier again for that. So Zapier will then also, once we get a response in that Google form, they will take the email from that form submission, and then it'll send off an automatic email, right? And then what we use is we use this tool called Calendly. I don't know if you've heard about this tool, but it is amazing, right? So Calendly, essentially what it does is it integrates with your calendar, your Google Calendar, multiple calendars, your work calendar, whatever. And then what it does is it allows for that person to actually schedule time without needing to do that back and forth of like, oh, when are you available? When am I available? Right. And you can set your hours and then that person can schedule time with you. So we have an automatic email that sends as soon as someone submits a form. Hey, thanks for showing some interest. Here's a questionnaire about your website. Fill that out and come prepared. But also go ahead and book some time with us, right? And we do all of this without any type of manual intervention, right? And all of these tools that we're using all have a free level, right? So if you're a business owner and you need to find a way to automate your scheduling, automate your lead generation, this is an entire lead generation workflow that you can utilize without really needing to pay any money. And of course, there are different options here, right? But again, all we're using to do this is Google Forms. We're using Slack, but you could also, have that sent directly to your email, or, maybe you're using Microsoft Teams or whatever, right? But we're using Google Form, Slacks, we're using Calendly, and we're using Zapier, right? So we'll talk a little bit later about how we're actually using our CRM, and we'll talk a little bit about Calendly and do a deep dive on some of these. But this is a simple workflow that anybody can implement right now for very little money. Talk to y'all later. Peace.